Hey, welcome back. So we are ready to clean the AX40. As you can see, I have taken upon myself to completely disassemble it. It's kind of an annoying amplifier in the way that there's no removable bottom plate. If you have to work on the amp, you would have to do all of this just to pull up the main board out of the bottom chassis. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt. But what we're going to do here, well, I'm going to do this, you're just going to watch. Here's the main, that's the faceplate, the decorative faceplate, and this is the actual mechanical faceplate where all the goods screw to. Here's our power meter board. I've loosened the transformer. You see the headphone jack, the main power switch, all the switches, the volume control, the equalizer, the main amp board, preamp over here with the this has got the heatsink on it, and here's our speakers, and you can see a little bit of that damage a little better. I honestly think there's really nothing to this. It's not electronic. All we're gonna have to do is push this back in and they should fit in no problem. So those are gonna fix up really nice. So the only thing I'm concerned about here is this board. I want to make sure that I'm not getting this wet. Everything else is fair game. I'm probably just going to keep the transformer off to the side. I'm going to try not to get that wet, but everything else is going to get a good wash. We're going to use this LA's Totally Awesome Degreaser, which has been watered down. It's about a 60-40, 60 water, 40 cleanser mix. And then I'm going to just brush all over this. I might hit it with the air compressor first just to get rid of any loose dust. All right, the washing is complete. Here's the bottom, which was particularly filthy. And it's turned out nicely. It's all good and clean. Structural faceplate here. Nice. There's our preamp board. Everything just looks fantastic now. It even removed some of the flux from the boards, so that's nice. Here's the back plate and our speakers board here, nice and clean. Transformer got a little wet, but I've already taken some compressed air to it. Here's our power meter board, speaker selector switches, our EQ. This did get wet. It's kind of hard not to get wet when they're all attached to each other. And unfortunately, they're not all plugs. There's some plugs and there's some that are soldered in. More switchboards, all sparkling clean. Looks looking great. Volume control, balance, and loudness here. And I'm going to keep hitting this thing with compressed air just because, although you think it might be dry, water goes everywhere, so I just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. And tomorrow I'm probably going to leave it out in the sun for a little bit just to bake. You know, it's going to be freaking hot here tomorrow, so I'm thinking sit it out in the sun, let it really dry with some heat. I know some people put them in the oven, but you know, I've got most of the moisture out. I just want to make sure that it's completely dry, and then we can go about pulling those main caps and getting that nasty glue off. Getting it wet actually changed the color of it a little bit, so hopefully it's going to be easy to remove. Just another look at the main board, how clean it is now. So when I pick it up with you again, we'll be inside on the bench. So these are all the plastic and knobs, plastic pieces and knobs and stuff like that. This is the amplifier power output display. So that sits in behind here. This is kind of dirty. We're going to have to get that clean. It's the balance. I guess it's like an escutcheon. These are all the equalizer buttons. They're filthy. And the various function buttons. And obviously the volume control. So these are all really filthy, and they are going to get cleaned. Probably going to soak them in a little bit of soap and water just to clean them off. As you can see, not pretty. But the amplifier itself is inside now. It's drying. I mean, it's dry, but it's just going to sit in here for a little while until the sun comes up, and then it's going to go outside. I'll show you the faceplate yet. Faceplate turned out beautiful. The lid is acceptable, I'm going to say. It's much better than it was. I mean, it was horrible. There's a couple little dents here. So what I'm going to do is just put them on a flat surface and just hit them with a rubber mallet to get those dents out. Against something nice and flat. I wish I had an anvil, but I don't. And I already showed you the bottom, which is a million times. That was the most disgusting piece, the bottom for sure, and the boards obviously. But yeah, so that's going to dry up, and then once it's dry, we'll get it back on the bench, and then we'll take care of that capacitor glue. Hey, welcome back. So I have removed the large filter capacitors, and for those of you who are curious, they are measuring perfectly fine, right around their 8700 microfarad rating. One was 86 and one was 88. So one was a little bit higher, one was a little bit lower, but they are perfectly fine to reuse and put back in this amp. You can see some of the crusty glue around the bottom of these. It shouldn't affect anything. This is the glue that I'm concerned about. It is creeping up the leg of this one. I believe it's a diode there. But it hasn't really touched much else. So this should be easy to remove. So I'm going to do that next. And I think what we'll do is we will start the reassembly of this amplifier. I have come to the decision that I don't believe it's necessary to recap any of this amp. It is working. I believe it will work fine. We've done that initial test. We were getting sound in both channels. I think what we have here is just dirty, scratchy controls, which we're going to clean. And obviously, now that the unit is completely disassembled, we're going to have better access to the switches. And there's the speaker switches over there, and some tone and so forth. These are, I think the big ones that I definitely want to take care of are these two tape monitor switches. They are particularly dirty. So we're definitely going to clean all this stuff. We're going to get all the, like the balance pot here, we're going to get it all cleaned up. And I think that once we've done that, we're going to put it back together and start doing some more testing, see what kind of sound we're getting out of this thing. If it comes to the point where, you know, we're still getting some static or something, then we'll dig a little deeper into it. It's not very hard to remove out of the case. It might look like a nightmare at this point, but it's really not. But step one, let's get this glue cleaned up. Okay, what you're looking at is the base here. I am basically going to bring all the guts and I'm going to drop it in here, and we are going to start reassembling this unit. And hopefully there aren't any screws left over when we're done. Okay, here it comes. There's going to be a lot of fumbling around, a lot of good fun. This is not going to be a short process. It's actually probably going to be a long process, so hopefully you stick with me for it. Just want to try and get everything kind of where it was originally. This transformer was on a bit of an angle. AC coming in there, heat sinks, here's our vents. We know that our display is in this area, along with all these boards, our EQ board here. This goes somewhere there. Volume, balance, all that kind of good stuff is over here. Switches and so forth. And our speakers are obviously back here. I still haven't fixed this. So once you kind of get it where you think everything's kind of in the right place here, you can start putting in a few screws to lock it down. I won't put the back panel in put the back panel in until we're done. And I think that's roughly where we want this. Still haven't figured out where this transformer goes. Something like that, I'm gonna say. Yes, that's it. We also have a ground here, if I remember correctly. That needs to go on one of the legs of the main board. There's supposed to be a ground cable around here somewhere. This is the ground for the phono. Power. Okay. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is get the transformer put in place. And those are 4 big screws like this. I'm not going to lock anything down as of yet. Just kind of get everything in position here. I'm probably going to edit this as I go, not to make it too boring. But I also want to show that it's a bit of a job when you're doing a complete ground up restoration like this. And this is more of a cosmetic restoration more than anything else, because I think electronically speaking, there's really not a whole hell of a lot wrong with this thing. So there's our speaker switches. That's good. Oh, here's that ground. And it goes under the leg. Of the screw that holds down the main board. So somewhere around there. Okay, and those were held in by some machine screws. My camera stopped recording. So hopefully you didn't miss out too much. It's not that exciting, to be honest with you. We're just put the main board back in and just tying the transformer down now. I don't think I had any witty commentary for you. I think we should fix these. So there's speaker terminals. You can see the damage there, how they're bent down. It's just a matter of them getting put back in. You can see the little legs that have to clamp around the plastic piece. So there's no physical damage, but I mean, there's physical damage. There's no electronic damage, so nothing's too nasty. And then really all it is those 4 legs that go in and they get soldered onto this board. So I'm going to get these all straightened out and put back in. Okay, we got them back in and straightened out. They're not perfectly tight like these two. It's the ones you're looking on the right, and you can see a little bit of scuff mark there from me trying to bend those little tabs over to secure them. But the soldering will help tighten those up quite a bit once I get them back on the board. So we'll get that done. I've got the unit flipped around now because we're going to We're going to put on the back piece here for some structural integrity. And then we'll mount this preamp board. And these are just your regular machine screw here. I just want to hook up the ones that connect the back panel. A couple of those in first. Not too tight as of yet. Okay. All right, with that in place, we can now put this preamp board in place. So I'm just going to put this ground in loosely. And then tuck that back in. And there are 1, 2, 3 machine screws for this. That should hold it all in place. You're going into plastic here, so no need to crank it really hard. Okay, next are speakers. Yeah, just want to make sure the board's in the right spot, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta make sure that these are not touching. And they're not, but you have to put on the speaker terminals before you pull off that, or you put on the back panel. Oh, and there is there's a screw for the AC. Okay. Nice. And I think we're good. So none of this is touching, right? No problems there. Our speaker cables go in through this cable tie here. Like that. Stay away from the heatsink. Our AC cables are over here. You can see to the switch. I think we can flip this around again and start working on our front. Okay, how do we want to film this? I want you to be able to see this, but I have to be able to work too. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I can set up a tripod. So before we get to the mounting of this, I think it makes a lot of sense for me to start cleaning these controls. And for faders, we're going to use fader lube. For switches, we're going to use just standard D5 deoxit. So I just want to clean in here. This is obviously our equalizer. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff. I know there's some places or some guys who like to remove the switches and clean them, and hey, if you got the time for that, all the more power to you. And that's why they created fader lube and deoxit, to take care of stuff like this, so you don't have to take switches apart. Now, these switches here are just single stage switches. They just switch on and off, and they are sealed. So we're not going to be applying anything here. I'm hoping that that's going to be okay. Now these tape monitor switches were dirty, and we're gonna clean those. And there's an opening right here that we can get some spray into. Again, I'm using D5 for this. And these are good quality switches. They're Alps. It's just hard to get the nozzle into the opening. Just let that pour in. Again, you can take this stuff apart if you like. We're just going to be exercising them with some contact cleaner. Hopefully that'll take care of our sticky and scratchy controls. Working back and forth, and that'll continue to work. Okay, here's our balance control. Fader lube for this. Here's our volume control. Now I've already given this a pre-cleaning with some non-residue cleaner. And now we're going to put the deoxit in here, because this also lubricates. This is volume control. It's a double gang pot. And when I use the non-residue cleaner, I tested it again, and it already got better. This stuff will continue to clean. Okay, and here is our loudness switch. It's sealed, so we're going to move on. Now, I've seen where people drill a little hole. You can do that, but sometimes if you go too deep, you end up destroying the contacts. So that's at your own risk. Okay, so we did these. We're going to do these. These are the equalizer on and defeat switches and equalizer record and defeat switches. Okay. Good. And our speaker switches were okay. I didn't hear any noise there, and they're sealed anyway, so we're just going to leave those alone. And what I'm going to do now I'll put you down on the mount, and we'll start reassembling this. Okay. Where is our faceplate? Here it is. Okay. Here's our internal faceplate. So now we just want to kind of get these where they're going to sit naturally. So kind of like this. That's what I'm thinking. The wires will remember where they were. Like that. So that's roughly where everything goes. So now we're just going to kind of insert stuff here to where they should be. Now, there are some extra holes here for, obviously, for other equipment, like other models. So some of these are going to be in different spots on different equipment. There is a higher model of this unit. It's called the 50, and it probably has more controls than the 40 does. And there's a 30 as well. And the 30 obviously has fewer controls. Alright, so that's roughly where this is going to be. That's got to go under. So I'm gonna keep this running here because I want you to see whatever struggles I go through to put this back to where it belongs, because I'm going to get some pushback here. I want to look at the actual faceplate. Put a couple chassis screws in so it's kind of solid here. Right here. And put one over here. Don't want the faceplate moving around too much. This is already looking like a bit of a challenge. Okay, so that's kind of solid. So now, let's get our volume control in. And that is held down with a nut. I'm not sure what size it is. It's a 12 millimeter. Okay, and then we'll put in our balance pot. Short one. Okay, excellent. Goes there. For all the switches. Okay. When I was removing this, I was using my electric screwdriver, but to put them back in, I want to control the torque by feel. So I'll put them in by hand. Definitely don't want to over torque them. Okay, now the EQ. Actually, before we do the EQ, let's do the equalizer, defeat, and record switches here. Come on. All right, so this EQ has the tiniest little screws, and there are more holes than there were screws. And I don't think that's because somebody lost the screws. I think that's by design. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we definitely want to hit the 4 corners. I'm just going to lightly put them in right now. Definitely hit the 4 corners. And we'll hit the 2 in the middle. And then we'll put these on an angle. So we'll put 1 up here and then 1 down here. That way we've got even torque all across them. And we'll just tighten them in gently. Definitely don't want to strip these. Lovely. All right. We're getting there. All right. Let's do our display. Off. It's already clean. Don't forget we got to do lamp. We have to do lamps. Lamps. So this slides in like that and then gets fastened from the top. And I'm gonna say it's probably these. Well, how many more of these do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 2 for the volume. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm pretty sure that this gets fastened. Jeez. Standard machine screw. Okay. Good. And now, it goes there. We can pop this back in. Where does that go? Like this. It's in. It is in. Very good. And I can put this back now. There. All right. Now, speaker switches. Headphone. And nut. Here's my head. Yeah, it's probably a 14. I don't have a 14. So, good. And finally, our power switch. I'm wondering if that should be the other way around. Yes, it should. I don't like the fact that the AC cables were pointing towards this board. They definitely need to point against the side. That's much better. It's nice and tight. Beautiful. Now, I have gone and polished the Super A cover for the is that in the right spot? I might put this in the wrong spot. I might put these in the wrong spot. That looks right. Is that in the right spot? Nope, not even close. Mistake. This needs to be down one step. Interesting, because there are mounting holes here, so I'm just wondering, maybe a model up has some different features. And what does this go in? There we go. Pretty sure that's right. Yes, it is. That is 100% right. I was wrong before. There we go. Much better. Now, put that in. And I believe it just clips in. If there's any screws on the bottom or not, I can't remember. No, there's not. It just snaps in, just like that. There we go. This is obviously not for anything. I think we are back together. Okay. So I think we're at the point where we could probably do a little test. Or should we, well, you know what, I'm going to put the faceplate back on, because then we're probably going to do the LEDs. And it looks like we have the right amount of screws, which is always a good sign. So let's put our faceplate on. This time we'll put in our EQ knobs. There. Now we'll try this again. Probably even more difficult to put on now. Oh no, it wasn't that bad. And I'm just going to put one screw down here for now. We can kind of see what's going on. That should hold it enough. I suppose we could put our volume control back on. Let's see here, minimum. Nope. There. Yes. Good. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to hook up some speakers, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're hooked up, and I found some audio. I'll save you the surprise. It works, but need a demonstration here. There's a nice click. Sounds great. So hopefully that dispels a little bit of the superstitions behind water and electronics. Don't be afraid to wash stuff. Don't go crazy, obviously, but don't be afraid if you have a stinky piece of equipment or whatever like that, or just filthy or whatever. Don't be afraid to wash it. Just be sure that you're not getting into any seriously critical spots, and like don't be using a high pressure car wash or something to get into the relays and stuff like that, places that are not going to be easy to dry. You know, just clean it off, use a good degreaser or whatever cleaner you have, and then just give it a light rinse. Once you rinse it off, start with compressed air and start blowing it off, and then leave it someplace good to dry. And the sun is the best spot. So I left this out in the sun for a while, and it got nice and warm, and I know that the electronics were all dried out. So yeah, so the equalizer is nice and quiet now. No noise. The oxide I sprayed in there, one thing I've noticed about Fader Lube is when you spray it in, it tends to remove whatever lubricant was in there, And then when you come back the next day, it's smooth as butter. This one's a little better. You can hear that all the controls are nice and quiet. No more scratchiness. So much for our one song. No more scratchiness in the tape monitors. No more scratchiness on the equalizer defeat buttons. Nice and clean and quiet on loudness. No noise anywhere on the balance. Speakers, on-off switches are fine. And most importantly, listen to that volume control now. No noise, and the volume shuts off completely when we go down. Beautiful. It's working great. So this unit is going to go up for sale immediately. And the best part is I did put nothing into it other than some labor. No parts were required. I did not recap it because it sounds fine. It's working fine. One thing I do want to do with you guys is I want to show you how we set up the bias. And I've downloaded the manual for the AX50 and the AX30, and they both recommend an 11 millivolt DC, our amplifier bias. So we're going to do that together. I'm going to get back up on the mount and we'll take care of that. Okay, so let's set up bias here. We'll plug the unit in. Turn it on. Relay click. Nice. Turn our multimeter to DC. And what we're going to do is we're going to hook across the emitter resistor here. Okay. So once you turn it on, the bias is going to be a little bit low. And as it warms up, it should creep up. So I'm just going to open up the service manual for the AX30 here. And it says, before turning on power, turn the semi-fixed resistors, which are here and here, fully clockwise. We're just going to leave them where they are. And they want, at startup, they want 5 to 6 millivolts. Well, we're at 5 right now and we're climbing. And what it says is measure, okay, set, okay, readjust about 5 minutes after the power is turned on. Okay, so what they're basically saying is they want you to warm up the amplifier. And once the amplifier has warmed up for about 5 minutes, what we need is a reading of 11 millivolts on both channels. So let's just, let's see the other channel, the left channel here. And this one's rising as well. It's at 7.2 and rising. So let me leave this thing on for 10 or 15 minutes. Let it get good and warm. And then we'll see where we are, because eventually these this will stop rising and we're going to stabilize at a certain voltage. So I'll be right back. It's been about 10 minutes now and we're at 9. So we're going to adjust. Now, if you're using a steel screwdriver like this, just make sure you don't touch anything. Just the pot. We're going to turn this up to 11. There. 11. And now we'll just flip these. And we got about 9.6 over here. And we'll turn this pot. Oh, 10.9, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about it, but being anal. $11. Okay. And that is as per the service manual. And like I mentioned, the A-X40 and the A-X50, which is one model below, one model above, both state that you need to have it at 11. So I think we're okay setting it at 11 for the 40. And that's it. That's how you set the bias on this thing. Just going to just another look over here. It's still stable at 11. So yeah, so we've achieved stability here. The amp's fully warmed up. So we are good to go. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to check the service manual and see what kind of voltage. Remember our bulbs here? We got one working here. It seems very dim. It's very warm too. It's incandescent. There are two bulbs here. I'm going to see what kind of voltage we got on these bulbs. See if the service manual says anything about that. And I'm going to check my supply of bulbs here and decide whether I want to put another incandescent in or convert it to LED. So I shall return. Okay, I'm working on the lamps here. I pulled off the dead lamp. As you can just see as I turn it on. Here's the good one still. Yeah, just to measure what we've got here. And it's 8 volts DC. Now, I buy these manufactured LED lamps, and they already come with a resistor installed. These are good for up to 12 volts, so it should be fine on an 8 volt rail. So just to show you, I'm going to put green ones in, and then I'm going to put the little green lamp covers, also known as lamp condoms, on those to get it to fit inside. And I'll just show you roughly. I'm just going to hook this up. 8 volts DC, just to give you an idea what we're looking at here. I'm going to put green ones on, and you can see the difference in the amount of light. Come on. There we go. Well, you can see it. I can't get the damn... There we go. So that's how much difference in light there is. Then I'm going to put the cover on it, so that should help diffuse the LED light. So we put these on there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of, actually I put just a tiny bit of silicone spray around here just so it goes in easier. Put those and then put them back in. And then when I'm done doing that, I will show you the end result. Let me show you this. I've only put one in so far. This is the green LED. I don't know if this is going to work good. I just want to show, this is just one LED inserted. You can see the other incandescent is just kind of sticking up here. Check this out. Now, the way it comes across on camera is totally different. It's a deep, deep green on the in real life, and then on the camera, it almost looks blue. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but boy, is it bright. And that's just with the one. That's how dim the incandescents were. But yeah, if I pull that out, pull out the LED here. Come on. It's really hard to get out. I think it might be just a little too bright. I don't know if I'm happy with this or not. So if I put the old incandescent in, you can see what it does, right? It lights it up in a, of course it's not green because it's yellow right now, but I don't know if it should be this bright. It's not the end of the world, but anyway, I'll let you know how I make out. Okay, there it is. Both lamps are in. Got them hooked up. I'll get these wires tied down a little bit. Again, in real life, it's a deep, deep green, not this blue-green that you're seeing. All right, we shall be back and wrap this up. All right, so let's call this one complete. Time to say goodbye to the A-X40. I'm definitely putting this one up for sale. I think I can bring in a few extra bucks on this one. So let's turn it on one last time. Get our bright display. Again, I wish you were seeing the real color because that's not it. Sounds wonderful. No more scratchiness, no more nothing. It's just, it's running the way it was supposed to run. Tied up those wires here. Got that all neatly tied up. Again, that's showing you how clean everything is. And we didn't have to really put any money into this thing other than a little bit of labor time and the initial cost, which was about, my discount, I think it was about 25 bucks. I think we can, I think 150 bucks for this would be fair. I mean, I'm sure on eBay they're probably going for like, you know, $10,000 or whatever the idiots sell things for these days. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something on there for like 300 bucks or more for something like this. eBay's just ridiculous now. So I think $150 for a nicely cleaned and serviced amplifier, which is both attractive and has good performance. I think that's a fair price. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't do amps very often, but I plan to be retiring soon, so I might get into it a little bit more. And I wouldn't mind taking on some more repairs, actually. It's fun to do restorations, though. It's nice to rip them apart and clean everything and then put it back together. It's great satisfaction there. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your time. If you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment, I would like that. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.